Forgotten by the Canadian history, forgotten by the Canadian government, forgotten by the Canadian forces. However, over 100 years after, the day has come. For the very first time in the Canadian history, a long overdue and well-deserved tribute will be given to the memories of the Latin American soldiers who participated and sacrificed their life in the First and Second World Wars.
To me, it's extremely important today as it marks a very special day in the Canadian Armed Forces as well in the Latin American community, as we honor those that paved the way forward to people like me to be able to become part of this amazing institution. I am truly honored to be here, and I'm thankful for the members of the committee that did all this hard work to gather the information to make sure that Latin American members that participated in World War I and World War II are properly recognized. As I mentioned, to me, they are the ones that paved the way for us to join this institution, and that I'm very proud to serve today.
From the Embassy of Mexico, it's a great honor to be part of this historic celebration of the first ceremony to remember the Latin American soldiers that participated and enlisted with the Canadian Army and defending the flag. 21 of them Mexican. This is a very important ceremony to bring not only their memories, but also to think and reflect about their legacy as we continue to live as a community that brings to and adds to the cultural, economic, and social fabric of Canada, a diverse society that benefits from the participation and our work that today we strive to bring.
So I'd like to highlight today how much we appreciate Mexico taking the lead in recognizing, along with the Canadian government, the sacrifice made by Latin Americans who chose to serve here in Canada during the First and Second World War. The commitment of these individuals who came forward, volunteered to fight for a foreign land overseas, far away from their homes, shows their dedication to country and their support of their adopted homeland here in Canada. Their sacrifices will not be forgotten, and it's so much appreciated that the Canadian government, along with the Mexican government this year, is starting this new annual ceremony that will recognize the contributions of these Latin Americans. Thank you.
It is an honor to be part of this event where for the first time we remember those fallen, those from the Latino heritage. Our background has never been recognized, and this is the first opportunity that we have. This is one of many to come, and as a Dominican descendant, I really appreciate the fact that Canada is taking our efforts into consideration, not just Dominican, but all Latino-America. And I believe it is extremely important to remember where we come from. I believe it is extremely important to remember the sacrifices that have been made in the past for us to enjoy the freedom that we now have. It is with a great honor that I appreciate what Captain Salas has done for us here and the rest of the community.
So again, today it was a historic event, right? Being able to honor these soldiers that came to Canada, came to serve under Canadian colors, many not being able to speak the language. What an opportunity to honor, to share, to essentially pay respect to these soldiers who saw something greater than themselves, saw something that was more important than their own well-being, than their own cultural communities. They went even further and fought for a country, but fought for the idea of a global community. And I think the Latin American community represents that, this wonderful global community.
It is a pleasure for me to be here today on the first day where we recognize soldiers that have a Latin American descent that came to serve in Canada during the First World War, the Second World War, and that they were lost to us and their families. Their sacrifice is remembered and will be remembered every year at this time during Latin American Month in Canada. As I was born in Nicaragua from a Canadian father and a Nicaraguan mother, I have a Latin American background, I lived in Nicaragua for a couple of years until we moved in the late 70s. And then I grew up in Montreal. And then at 16, I joined and served. And I wasn't always very aware of the Latin American heritage and history of serving members from that hemisphere in our First and Second World War. So I am blessed, happy, and honored to be here with all of us today celebrating that heritage. Gracias.
Good day. Today we make history. We remember all those Latin Americans that came to Canada, joined the Canadian Armed Forces voluntarily, participated in the First and Second World War for the freedom and the peace that we all enjoy today. Today we celebrate the first ever Latin American Remembrance Day. Today we made history, and all the memories of those soldiers, all those sacrifices are gonna stand up and gonna live with us forever. We are gonna remember them. We are gonna remember them. Thank you.
The well-deserved tribute today was made possible thanks to the research led by Captain Ray Garcia Salas, an active member of the Canadian Forces and of the Guatemalan origin, who once he stated that if these soldiers were forgotten, it's like they were killed twice. And Danilo Velázquez and the city of Ottawa for Quienes, Somos.